Hello. Very good morning, everyone. How are you all? Very fine. Now, last class in day 37, we started. Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Whatever we have done, whatever concept we have done, any doubt in that? No doubt. We have done provision. What is the meaning of provision? Provisions are liability of uncertain amount or timing. What is the meaning of liability? Liabilities are present obligation arising from past event which will be settled through outflow of resource, and outflow must be probable, correct? And if a reliable estimation is required, then that liability will become provisions. Means all provisions are liabilities, but all liabilities are not provision. For example, we say salary payable, so or rent payable, bachpan rent payable, salary payable account. So in that case, amount is also certain, the timing of payment is also certain. Therefore, we do not create any provision for salary. It is a liability, not provision. It is a liability but not provision. But if you have applied AS15, have you applied AS15 in your office? AS15 was not in your CA inter syllabus. It was employee benefit. So I hope you have created a provision for gratuity. So for gratuity, some estimation is required. Therefore, we call it provision. We call it provision for gratuity. Understood? Are you able to understand? The provision for gratuity is also a liability, but estimation is required. Therefore, it becomes provision. But we can say also provisions are liability. So we can say it will come under the head liability only, either non-current liability or current liability, either non-current liability or current liability. Then we have understood there are three conditions. Point number 1, 2, 3. I think very simple. There must be present obligation arising from past event. Outflow of resource which is required to settle the obligation must be probable, and a reliable estimation should be made for the amount or timing of the obligation. If any one condition is not satisfied, we will not recognize provision. It means we may disclose it as contingent liability. We have understood that obligations are of two types. One is legal obligation, other is constructive obligation. For both obligation, Ind AS 37 is applicable. Legal obligation arises due to contract or any legislation or any other obligation of law. However, constructive obligation derived from entity's own action. It can be either due to published policy or a specific statement, or due to past practice which indicate that entity will accept the responsibility, and which will create a valid expectation on the part of other party. This constructive obligation you have understood. So you can see this is the exact meaning of constructive obligation. Now, if any question has been asked about constructive obligation and you say that yes, for constructive obligation provision is required, so of course they will not give full marks. Your answer might be correct, but that is not the best answer. Correct now. Suppose there is some constructive obligation, you said maja aa raha, yes, provision is required. So of course they will not give full marks. You need to write down this exact keyword. What is constructive obligation? Constructive obligation. Understood what I am saying? So whatever given in this India Saran's book, if you try to incorporate as it is in your exam, then you will get better marks. Means your 60 marks will become 90 marks. Your 60 marks will become 90 marks. So that difference will come. That difference will come due to writing skills. Due to writing skills. Correct? Then point number D, I hope you have understood obligations which are dependent on future conduct of business should not be recognized as provision. All obligation involve other party. However, it is not essential to know the identification of that party. Legal obligation arises only when legislation is enacted, or it is virtually certain that it will be enacted by the end of a reporting period. This, I think, a question may be expected from this. So have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? Any clarification required? No, sir. Contingent liability, I hope you have understood. Contingent liability are present obligation arising from past event which is not recognized as provision. because either outflow of resource is not probable or reliable estimation cannot be made, or it is possible obligation arising from past event. If you can write down this much, you will get marks. I said keyword is important. There is no need to write down exactly what is given under India's Saransh book. Correct now? Because we chartered accountants are not perfect. We are not perfect in what? English, okay? English perfection is not required. English perfection is not required. Even though you are doing grammatical mistake, they will never deduct marks for grammatical mistake. Even though you are doing spelling mistake, they will never deduct marks for spelling mistake, because they also don't know the spelling. So don't worry about the grammatical mistake. Of course, it should be understandable. It should be understood by the other party. Means whatever you are writing, that should not give some other meaning. I hope you are understanding. So for grammatical mistake, for spelling mistake, don't worry. Don't don't force yourself for grammatical and that type of point. You should only force yourself for conceptual understanding. Got it? If you are good in English, you have an upper hand, I can say. But if you are not good in English, it does not mean you can't score rank. Are you able to understand? Have you understood? Yes, sir. Recognition, I think you have understood, does not require recognition, only disclosure required in financial statement. Contingent asset are possible asset arising from past event, the existence of which will be confirmed by occurrence. Okay. Then about the recognition and disclosure, this is very important. I said inflow, if the inflow are virtually certain, then it is what? It is a asset. It will not be treated as contingent asset, means recognized asset. When I am saying recognized asset, it has a corresponding other effect also. Double interest system, not dual aspect concept. It is recognized as asset. So of course, other effect is what? Income. Other effect is income. So asset account debit to income. Understood what I am saying? So other effect is understood. Other effect is understood now. So when I am saying provision, the other effect is what? Expense. Other effect is expense. Got it? Have you understood this point? Arre bolna re. Correct. Yes, sir. So inflow are virtually certain, you have understood. Inflow are probable, then it will not be recognized as an asset. It will be only disclosed as contingent asset. Where? It will be disclosed as contingent asset in the report of in financial statement. In financial statement means notes to account. And if it is not probable, then no treatment is required. So we have understood for asset, India 37 is more strict for recognition and disclosure. Correct? This summary I hope you have understood. Measurement we say that best estimate, it should be the best estimate. Estimates are determined by the management judgment, which should be supported by experience of the past transaction or report of an expert or any additional evidence which is derived from event occurring after reporting date. This point number C is this third point we'll discuss in detail in the next chapter only. Next chapter will be your Ind AS 10, which is nothing but AS 4. Are it? I hope this point also you have understood. Then how to measure important from examination point of view. It is important from examination point of view. Already I said one question had been asked, when obligation involve larger population, correct? Then we'll determine the expected value of obligation. This is your keyword, expected value of obligation. So you should write on expected value of obligation is equal to weighted average of all possible outcome. Then you are expert in average. Average you can do means possible outcome will be given. Apply average. Understood? You are expert in average. Now that you can do. So that become expected value of obligation. And when there is a single obligation with only two possible outcome, then will the amount of provision means I should not say the amount of provision. I should say the measurement will be what? The most likely outcome. It may require discounting also. It may require discounting also. The provision is created based on most likely outcome. I have given one example: 70%, 30%, 70% high damages, 30% low damages. So 70% become most likely outcome. So that will be the amount of provision. Understood? Got it. Then in this note you have understood. In that last point number 4 we were discussing. Then I said maja aa raha hai, we'll discuss next class. Today is the next class. However, you have understood that if the time value of money is material. Now this one thing more discussion. The time value of money is material. Now when it will become material, that is not defined under Ind AS 37. Means this whatever I have given, this I have given as per my practical understanding. Understood now? So can I say whenever India is silent regarding any point, it means judgment will apply. So judgment varies from the facts and circumstances. Judgment varies from the facts and circumstances. From examination point of view, I have given very simple rate of discount given, discount is rate of discount not given, do not discount it. Simple. So examination is something different. Practical is something different. Understood now? So from my practical experience, I am saying that if the amount is payable within 1 year, now when I am saying within 1 year, it can be 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Correct now? Are you able to understand? So within 1 year, then no discounting. If it is payable after 1 year, then discounting. Now one doubt came. We have done one question in that one amount was payable exactly after 1 year, and we have done discounting. Last question we have done a Marico Limited. We have done. Now one doubt came. Now students are very smart. So exactly 1 year. Why you have done discounting? I say this is my practical experience. It depends upon judgment. It depends upon judgment. I said from examination point, the rate of discount given. Will you apply this? अरे बोलना रे no na already I have said please when I am doing solution that is from examination point of view, that is not from practical experience point of view. Practically you become chartered accountant, apply your own judgment, na. अरे बोलना रे correct. Examination point of view, already I said rate of discount given, do not fight with exam, do not fight in exam hall. If you fight in exam hall you will struggle. Correct na, straight away rate of discount given. Why there is a doubt? There should not be any doubt. There should not be any doubt. Now, don't apply this. Understood what I am saying? Have you understood? Yes, sir. Then point number 4, gain from expected sale of assets shall not be taken into account for amount for measurement of provisions. Very good point. I am expecting a one question from this also. Very good point. Suppose just let us understand one situation. Suppose we have decided to sell our one business, not entire entity. If we decided to sell entire entity, then it will affect our going concern. So we may have multiple business. For example, I have CA Foundation, CA Inter and CA Final. Now we have also announced our CA Foundation, CA Inter also our face-to-face batch. Correct now. We require your support. Correct. So CA Foundation, CA Inter also I have announced. Means under our we have a team of that. So we have announced. Maja aa raha hai. So what I am saying, we have CA Foundation, CA Inter and CA Final business. Soon I will also launch all subject of CA Final also. It will take time. Means I have a very big vision about this. Then we'll also launch some international course. What I have found that after becoming CA, yeah, after passing CA exam, you waste your 3-4 months. Correct ना? So for that I am planning something. चलो ठीक है बात बताएंगे. What I am saying कि we have 3 business. Now suppose I have decided to close down CA Foundation. It is quite possible. So that is known as restructuring of business. It is known as restructuring. This will be the last point of this chapter. Now suppose we have decided to close down CA Foundation. So if I will close down CA Foundation, so we'll say there will be some restructuring expenses. So Ind AS 37 says that we should also create a provision for restructuring expenses. When? We'll discuss. Have you understood this point? Are bolna rahe? Now when you will actually close down, so there will be some asset, you will sell it, and on sale of asset there can be some gain. The doubt is that whether gain on sale of assets should be considered for creating provision. No. And this gain on sale of asset is covered under Ind AS 16 AS 10 revised. So when you are selling the asset, that should not be considered for creation of provision. Provision is separate. Gain on sale of asset is separate. So any gain, expected gain, should not be considered for creation of provision. One clarification has been given. This is a clarification. Understood? Correct. So whenever this type of points are given in exam, you might be confused if you have not understood this point. Understood? For example, they have said restructuring expense. Suppose they have said 10 lakh. And when you sell the asset, you have a gain of 2 lakh. So how much provision is required? 10 lakh or 8 lakh? 10 lakh. But suppose you have not understood this point in exam, what will do? 8 lakh maja aa raha hai. Are you getting? That will be 0 marks. So gain on sale of asset should not be considered for recognition of provision. Very simple point. Can I come next point? Risk and uncertainties. Risk and uncertainties. Just try to understand. Right now I have discussed that provision is an estimation, and estimation is based on past transaction or report of an expert or any additional evidence. Can I say, even though suppose it is based on past transaction, but can I say it is surrounded with many risks and uncertainties? Future is uncertain. Future is uncertain. Right now, right now, our estimation is that the outflow can be 1 lakh as per current circumstances. But that outflow may increase. That outflow may increase. So can I say, whatever provision we are creating, the estimation we are making, that is actually surrounded by many risks and uncertainties. Therefore, India 37 says that you should make also some risk adjustment. Risk adjustment. A simple example I'll give, you will be able to understand what is the risk adjustment. You know about beta in FM. What is beta? Systematic risk. Understood? Means we do risk free interest plus what? Plus what? Risk premium, and risk premium is based on systematic risk. Beta. I hope you have understood. So can you say, whenever we are calculating cost of equity, the cost of capital, in that also we are considering the risk adjustment, risk of the market. Correct. So in this case, when you are calculating future outflow, so that future outflow is also based on many risks and uncertainties. That adjustment is also required. Got it? How to make that adjustment, that is given under India 37. How to make that adjustment? Some adjustment is required, that you have understood. Some adjustment is required due to what? Risk and uncertainties. But how to make that adjustment? They have given three alternative adjustment. Any one alternative can be opted. Understood? Correct. So what they are saying? The risk and uncertainties that surround many events and circumstances shall be taken into account in reaching the best estimate of provision. First sentence you have understood. A risk adjustment should be made for the amount that the entity would pay in excess. That the entity would pay. Would pay. Future tense. Would pay in excess of expected present value of outflow due to uncertainty attached with the actual outcome. The actual outcome can be different from estimation. So that risk we have. So because of that risk, some adjustment is required. Now how to make that adjustment? Risk adjustment can be accounted for in number of ways, such as point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. Correct. Last class I have given one example, that major defect, correct, minor defect and no defect. Like this. I have said 60%, 30%. Oh, ulta kar diya. I think no was 60%, na? No defect 60%, minor was 30%, and this was 10% multiplied by 1 lakh, multiplied by 1 lakh, multiplied by 1 lakh. This I have said, na? Into what? The outflow. Outflow I have given, how much I have given? 500, na? 500, 100 and 0. Correct. So how to make? Now some amount will come. This amount will come. What amount it was? 80 lakh, na? 80 lakh. Correct. So what they are saying, the risk adjustment can be given in two ways. Either you can increase this directly by certain percentage. Correct now? Because 500 is based on current circumstances. In future 500 may become 600. So either you can increase the outflow by adjusting it, or can you say directly you can increase this amount by adding some percentage. Or can you say we require present value? For present value, what we do? 80 lakh multiplied by discount rate factor. अरे बोलना रे. Discount rate factor rate. So either you can make some adjustment in this rate. There are three ways. Either you adjust the amount of outflow, or you adjust the expected value of obligation, or you adjust the discounting rate. Either of these three will be given in the question that you adjust. Either of these will be given in the question. Very simple. Now they will say outflow should be increased by 10%. So 500 plus 10%, 100 plus 10%, or they will say increase the amount by 20%. So 80 lakh into 20%, or adjust the provision by 2%. Correct? My question to you all, in this two we are adding 500 plus 100 plus 80 lakh also will do plus. For discount rate, if adjustment is required, will do what adjustment is required? Will increase the rate of discount or will decrease the rate of discount? Will increase the rate of discount or decrease the rate of discount? Increase or decrease? Decrease. Why? Because we know that when rate of discount will decrease, present value will increase. Therefore, when you are doing adjustment with rate of discount, then do minus, not plus. Have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? I think very simple. That is only given. Check karenge what is given. Everyone, you can see. Either by adding it to the expected present value of future outflow, directly add to the present value of future outflow, or adjusting the estimate of future outflow, correct, or adjusting the discount rate. Got it? One, I think थोड़ा सा I have said something. This is not 80 lakh into, suppose this is 70 lakh. मान लेते present value is 70 lakh. So we'll do direct adjustment here. Will increase by certain percentage this. Okay. So these are the three ways. Suppose the present value is 70 lakh. It will be less than 80 lakh now. Correct. So these are the three ways to do adjustment. One of the ways will be given in the question that you apply. One of the ways will be given that you apply. Any doubt? Follow. Have you understood this point? One question has been given, question number 6. X Solar Power Limited, a power company, has a present obligation to dismantle its plant after 35 years of useful life. Question bank. Question number 6. Correct? X Solar Power Limited cannot cancel this obligation or transfer to third party. It has estimated the total cost of dismantling is 50 lakh. The present value is 30 lakh. Based on the facts and circumstances, the company consider the risk factor is 5%. The risk of the actual outflow would be more than expected present value. How should X Solar Power Limited account for the obligation? But what will be the amount of provision? They have given future value 50 lakh, present value 30 lakh, and risk factor 5%. So 5% you will add in 50 lakh or 30 lakh? 30 lakh. So 30 lakh plus 5%, this will be the amount of provision. Super easy question. But suppose you are doing some, suppose you are forgotten or you are confused in exam, you may do 50 lakh into 5% or something extra. Correct. But very simple question. This type of question may be asked. Why these questions are important? Because this type of questions were not asked at CA inter level. So higher chance they may ask at CA final level. It seems easy, but it will not be easy if you have forgotten this point. Okay, got it. This also you have understood. Coming to the next point. Reimbursement. Now there are some special points. Measurement over. Now there are some special point. Let us discuss the special point and complete this chapter. Reimbursement. Reimbursement, I think from the word you have understood that we have created a provision for future expenditure. But such expenditure will be reimbursed by third party. Understood? Means we have an obligation right now. So for obligation, we have applied Ind AS 37. If all the conditions are satisfied, we create provision. But it is quite possible that amount of expenditure may be reimbursed by third party. Third party can be insurance company or any other party. Now, if it is reimbursed by third party, the question is arises. Two questions arises. Everyone, there is no need to read anything. Correct? Don't read till I read. Okay. Once again. So there is a high chances that whatever provision we have created for the expected expenditure for that reimbursement is there from third party. Now there are two questions. Should we create provision? Suppose expected expenditure is 10 lakh and it will be reimbursed by third party insurance company. Should we create provision? Yes or no? Very good. Excellent. Yes. Liability is different. Reimbursement is different. If all the three conditions satisfied, we should create provision. Very good. Excellent. Now, coming to the second question. Should we create an asset for reimbursement? Apply a common sense. Reimbursement is inflow. Inflow not from third party. So there is one outflow, there is one inflow also. Correct? Outflow is to some other party, you should create a provision. Inflow is also there na. So should we create a separate asset for reimbursement? Apply a common sense. One chocolate if you give me the best answer. Raise your hand. Chocolate or raise your hand. Who is saying? Arre? You can say in crowd na. There was some answer I am getting. Bol. I don't see. इधर मत देख. What I am saying, one second. One second. Chocolate means I will give chocolate. You can create provision for that. No, for you it is inflow. Correct. What I am saying, reimbursement is there. Should we create a asset for such reimbursement? Anyone saying yes? Yes. Why? 100% correct. 100% correct. Just try to understand. We have already done what I supposed to do. Now don't go to CA inter, UNCA final. Apply whatever I have done. 100% correct. One chocolate you can write down somewhere. Correct? One chocolate is coming in. Very good. 100. If it is virtually certain, then recognize. If it is probable, then disclose. If it is not probable, then no treatment. Simple. Correct now. Means what I am saying, just try to understand. Even though I have not done this point, even though you have forgotten this point, in exam questions come, you know about contingent asset now. You know about possible inflow now. Apply that. Apply that. Now whatever treatment need, whatever we have discussed, that accounting treatment will be applied in special circumstances. Let's see what is given. When expenditure is required to be settled, when expenditure required to be settled is expected to be reimbursed by third party. Third party can be any other party, it can be director also. It can be insurance company also. Understood? Then reimbursement, if it is virtually certain means what? The chances are more than 95%. Then recognize reimbursement as a separate asset. As a separate asset means in balance sheet it will be a separate asset. You can't set up with the amount of provision. Correct? Means suppose you have created a provision of 10 lakh. Correct? Then you should recognize a separate asset of 10 lakh or less than 10 lakh. Whatever is the circumstance, whatever guarantee has been given. Suppose the guaranteed amount is only 70%. So you will create the reimbursement asset to the extent of 7 lakh only. Have you understood? Correct. Such amount is set off against provision and the net amount is shown in PL. In PL, set off can be done, not in balance sheet. In balance sheet, separate provision, separate asset. But in SOPL, what you will do? You need to write down expense, which will be 10 lakh minus 10 lakh as per my example nil. It is 7 lakh, so 10 lakh minus 7 lakh, 3 lakh will be your expense. Means set off you can do for income and expense, not for assets and liability. Have you understood? So a separate asset will be created in the balance sheet, but in SOPL net amount will be recognized as a expense. Now one doubt will arise, sir, whether reimbursement asset can be more than the amount of provision. What do you think? No. Reimbursement asset cannot be more than the amount of provision. Practically also not possible. And due to conservatism also not possible. Correct, that is given. Amount recognized as reimbursement asset should not exceed the amount of provision. Either it will be equal to or less than the amount of provision. Means net amount cannot be gain. Net amount will be either zero or expense. Got it? Very simple. Super important. Super important. Expected in exam. If it is not virtually certain, means either it can be probable or not probable. If it is probable, disclose it as not probable, then no treatment. That is only given. Not recognized as an asset. However, if the inflow is probable, expected reimbursement should be disclosed in notes to account. Means if it is not probable, then no treatment. Got it? Any doubt? Bolo. Any doubt? Question number 8. X Beauty Solution Limited is selling cosmetic product under his brand name B, but it is getting his product manufactured from Y Limited. It has an understanding with Y that if the company become liable for any damage claim due to any injury or harm to the customer of the cosmetic product, 30% will be reimbursed to it by Y Limited. So there is an understanding. Understanding means, of course, there is some contract which is legally enforceable by law. Under means contract can be oral also. There can be oral contract also. Understanding, and if it is the offer and acceptance is there, so it become a contract legally enforceable by law. Am I right or not? So from the question it is understood, yes, it is what? Virtually certain. Am I right or not? Reimbursement is virtually certain because it is given, clearly given, it is understanding, means it is enforceable by law. During the financial year, a claim of 30 lakh demanded by the customer from Beauty Solution Limited, how should X account for the claim that become payable? But what will be the amount of provision? What will be the reimbursement asset? What will be the amount of expense? 21 lakh. But if you write down this, they will not give marks. Huh? You should write down, yes, it is virtually certain, therefore we recognize a separate asset which should not exceed the amount of provision, because the 30% amount is there. The amount of reimbursement asset will be 9 lakh. Amount of expense will be shown net in SOPL. In this way you should write down. Okay, that is only given, you can read. You can see, since the understanding result in an enforceable agreement, they have also added this point. So from that we can understand it is virtually certain. Suppose in exam you have a doubt. Right now, though I am with you, okay, sir, it is virtually certain. But in exam, it might happen you have doubt whether it is virtually certain or it is not virtually certain. Whenever you have doubt in exam, now give both the answer. Try to play with examiner. Give both the answer. If it is virtually certain, this is the answer. If it is not virtually certain and the amount is probable, this is the answer. They will become happy. You know everything. बोलना, तो they will not deduct marks. They will not deduct marks because you have given right answer. So be smart in writing your answer if you have a doubt about the understanding of the question. Got it? Are you able to understand what I am saying? Question number 8 you have understood. Come to one more question. Question number 29. Question number 29. This is the question. But this question you will do by your own after Ind AS 10. Ind AS 10. Why I am saying after Ind AS 10? Because right now I will do, and if you have forgotten AS4, then I will also die. AS4 and Ind AS 10 are same. So after Ind AS 10 you will do by your own. Super expected. Super expected, when I say, it means expected. It will come, high chances. High chances it will come in exam. And when I say expected, expected it will come. From the past 5-6 attempts, more than 70% question is coming from my expected list. More than 70%. But don't rely on that. Because expected. Expected na. Actual can be different. Actual can be different. Chalo. This also you have understood. Future operating loss. Future operating loss. Because why I'm just hiding it? Because once you read now, your interest lost. I'm just giving circumstances to you so that you can only express your opinion. I will say you will forget. So I'm just giving one situation. You will say, should we create or should we not create provision? Okay? Understood? Now suppose the same example what I have said, ki I have a multiple business, CA foundation, CA inter and CA final. We have decided to close one of the business. Correct? We have decided to close, not yet closed. Why we have decided to close? Because now no one is willing to do CA. CA foundation students are not there. So we are incurring losses. In current year, we have incurred a loss of 10 lakh from CA foundation business. This is not actual, huh? This is not actual. Correct. So in current year, we have actually incurred a loss of 10 lakh. That is already recorded. Now we are expecting that in future, means in the next year, we'll incur an operating loss of 15 lakh. But we cannot close the batch immediately because we have some future obligations, future contract. It will take 3-4 years to actually close down. Understood? So it means our expected future operating loss is how much? 15 lakh. Our expected future operating loss is how much? Should we create a provision? This type of question will come. मजा आ रहा है? Are you getting maja or not? Lollipop question will not come, huh? CA inter. However, CA inter questions are also very interesting. And I have found that in CA inter they ask actually good questions. In CA final they will give the question whatever is given in ICA study material. Because they know you don't have time to read ICA study material. They know you will not study only. You are so much busy with articleship. I don't know where you are busy. I don't know, because everyone is doing articleship. We should not give any excuse on that. Correct. But believe me, questions are coming from ICS study material directly. It's just like your 11-12 exam. Question used to come from books only. The question is coming from books only. Why it is complicated? Who will give the answer? Should we create a provision for future operating loss? Raise your hand. Bol. Should we create a provision for future operating loss? How many are saying yes? How many are saying yes? Everyone is saying no. Everyone is saying no. So can you explain why no? What you are saying? No. Estimation is never exact. Who said estimation is exact amount? Estimation is estimation. You live for 50 years. I am estimating. But whether it is actual, then estimation is estimation only. It cannot be actual. This is not correct. Why I am saying your answer all have given correct answer? No. But you will not get any mark, 0. Anda. Because if you are not giving explanation of that, I will never give marks. I'll give 0. I will give 0. I pass in first attempt, then also I'll give 0. And your paper will check by those chartered accountants who have passed in 5 to 6 attempts. Pata, whether they will give marks? Do you expect any marks from them? अरे बोलना रे, they have taken 5 to 6 attempts, they are checking your paper. मजा लेगा ना? अरे बोलना रे, do you expect any marks from them? No रे, tit for tat. अरे simple ना. They will say अच्छा 5 attempt, you also 7 attempt. They will never give marks. Believe me. I am saying I have passed in first attempt, I will also not give marks. So what they will do? One second. Anyone, those who have said no, I want good explanation. No, no, हाँ मजा नहीं आ रहा है. मतलब आई एम नॉट, मजा नहीं आया. Past event who said? This is correct. This is based on future event, future business, future loss. This is actually future business na. Future operating loss means when you do future business, then that loss will occur. So the question of recognition, this entire situation is not applicable in this chapter only. Simple na. So you are saying there is no outflow is probable. It means not clear understanding. Means you are saying it is based on past event. It is not based on past event. When you are saying it is there is no present obligation, so there might be possible obligation, I will say. Then where will you disclose contingent liability? Means it is not applicable in this chapter. No provision, no contingent liability also. No disclosure. Correct? That is only given. Neither provision nor contingent liability as it is related to future event. One sentence answer. Now whatever you are saying, that is bakwas. Understood? We are hitting the target. Have you understood? Have you understood this point? Correct? Don't worry. Huh? If I am in your position, I might have also given wrong answer. Huh? Don't worry. You are answering, I am happy. When you are giving answer, I am happy. It may be wrong, it may be correct. Okay? Sure. No, 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 no. Just try to understand. First, you need to find out whether there is any obligating event. So this is actually not creating any obligating event because it is based on future business, future event. Present obligation arising from past event. So this whatever obligation will arise, that is due to future event. Simple. It is not applicable. This is not covered in this chapter only. No discussion required. No discussion required. Understood? Then so we need to, I already said, then so we need to recognize provision for all expenses. We have expected salary, we have expected rent. That is also based on future business. Understood? Yes, sir. Now, coming to next point, executory contract. Do you know what is executory contract? What is executory contract? Where execute means those contract which is either performed by both the party partially or which is not yet performed by both the party. Performance. I am saying not performed. I said we have done one contract. So you have a obligation to pay. I have an obligation to provide services. Correct? I mean right now it might have it is partially performed. Or it might happen that not yet performed by both the party. Not yet performed by both the party. So that become executory contract. That become an executory contract. A simple example I'll do. Suppose we have done a contract to purchase a machinery, not now, after 1 year. And the payment and delivery will be also after 1 year only. But we have done one contract, we have fixed the price. So can if both party has not performed their part of obligation, this become an executory contract. Contract is there. Now suppose I have done a contract to purchase the machinery at rupees 10 lakh after 1 year. Contract is there. Binding contract, binding contract. Binding contract means it need to be performed by both the party, which is enforceable by law. My question to you all, will you create a liability? I have done one contract to purchase the machinery after 1 year. Should I create a liability? Should I create a liability? Yes or no? Should I create a provision? Huh? Should I create a provision? Why? Why? Bolo? Future event. One second, one rule. We never do accounting based on agreement. Agreement is bakwas for accounting. We do accounting based on substance over form. What is substance over form? CA foundation, one para substance over form. Entire India's accounting is based on substance. Apply your common sense. Don't think about what is written in agreement. Agreement is bakwas. Think about the actual situation, what is going to happen. So right now, the machinery is not under our control. So can we recognize the machinery? No. If you are not recognizing machinery, there is no question of liability. And it is based on future event. Therefore, liability is not required, provision is not required. Therefore, for executory contract, one clarification has been given that Ind AS 37 is not applicable. Ind AS 37 is not applicable for executory contract. Correct? What is given? Ind AS 37 is not applicable to executory contract unless it is onerous. Oh, unless it is onerous. Unless it is onerous. Do you know what is onerous contract? Have you done this point in your CA inter? No? CA inter everything was left, huh? Onerous. Onerous means it become burden for you. The contract become burden. The contract become burden. So what they are saying, once the contract become burden, create provision. Burden means what? When the expected loss, expected loss, expected loss from that contract is more than expected benefit, then that contract become onerous. Understood? So when it become onerous, then create provision. Then Ind AS 37 is applicable. A very good example I will say. The same example, X Limited has decided to purchase a machinery from Y Limited after 1 year at rupees 10 lakh. Suppose the date of contract is suppose 15 Feb 2021. Understood? And right now we are into 31st March 2021. 1 year is not expired. We are standing at this point of time. Understood? Have you understood this point? But what happened? And this was a binding contract. When it is a binding contract, the binding contract are those contracts which are actually non-cancelable. Which are non-cancelable. Non-cancelable contract are those contracts which can be cancelled. One second. This binding contract are non-cancelable contract. The non-cancelable contract are those contracts which can be cancelled upon payment of penalty. Anything can be cancelled, huh? Cancellation तो मजा आ रहा है, let cancel. Will not give exam. But for that cancellation you are not paying any penalty, na? So non-cancelable contract are those contracts which can be cancelled upon payment of penalty. So it becomes binding contract. Who will pay penalty? No one is willing to pay penalty. Are you able to understand what I am saying? Correct. So when I am saying there is a contract, contract is always binding. You can't cancel it. And if you can cancel it without payment of penalty, I will say it is not a binding contract only. It is not a binding contract. Understood? So when I am saying contract, contract means what? Binding contract. It means now what happened? On or before 31st March, X Limited decided to change their business. Quite possible. For example, we were into face-to-face classes. Now we decided to come into recorded classes due to COVID-19. Now these benches are not required, but we have done one contract with us. The same situation was actually happened. We have done one contract for benches. Suddenly, after 1 month, lockdown. Understood now? Correct? Same situation happened. Because of that reason, I am giving that example. Understood? Can we cancel the contract? Pay penalty? Understood now? So what I am saying, binding contract is there. So we have changed our business. It means, can I say we cannot cancel the contract? And if you want to cancel the contract, you need to pay penalty. Now, it means, can I say if you purchase the asset, means machinery, you need to pay 10 lakh, pay 10 lakh. But can I say this machinery is of no use? Therefore, it need to be sold in the market at scrap value. And suppose the scrap value is 1 lakh. It means how much loss? 9 lakh loss. Or if you cancel the contract, you need to pay penalty. So you suppose the amount of penalty is 3 lakh. Amount of penalty is 3 lakh. Understood? Can I say in this contract there is some unavoidable loss? Should we create provision or not? Yes. We should create a provision. By what amount? 3 lakh or 9 lakh? Whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. Understood? Same thing is given under India 37. Once executory contract become onerous, create a provision with the expected amount of unavoidable loss, which will be equal to lower of these two. Lower of these two. Same question was asked in exam. Got it? Understood? Let us read what is given. What is given? In other words, it is applicable to onerous contract. So what is onerous contract? Onerous contract are executory contract in which unavoidable cost of meeting the obligation exceed the economic benefit expected to be received from such contract. The unavoidable cost of meeting the obligation exceed the expected benefit from such a contract. It become what? Onerous. In this case, amount of provision will be unavoidable cost. That is lower of cost of fulfilling the contract. Cost of fulfilling the contract in my example it was 9 lakh. Correct? And penalty payable to exit from the contract. In my example it was 3 lakh. Whichever is lower. Understood? Concept is very simple. The point is that on exam day, can you retain this point? Because this is the first chapter ना. मजा आ रहा है. अभी there are many other chapters are there. So entire chapters will amalgamate. On an exam day, we require internal reconstruction. Understood now? So if you can retain, then only you can answer. And for retention, revision is required. And how to do revision, that I will explain. Correct? Got it? Yes, sir. This also we have understood. Let me take one question based on this, so that you feel, yeah, I am taking question also. One good question is there. Where is that question? हाँ बोल. हाँ Now 10 lakh is only cost of fulfilling the contract, but once you purchase it, then you will sell it also now. So your net cost of fulfilling the contract is how much? Means what is your actual outflow? 10 lakh you paid, but you know it can be sold in the market at rupees 1 lakh. Then only you will want to purchase now. Otherwise you will pay penalty only. You will compare both the situation. What is my actual cost of fulfilling the contract and what is the amount of penalty? Whatever lower, that only decision I will take. Suppose the amount of penalty was 15 lakh. Then what you will do? You will purchase it only. Then you know that your net cost is what, 9 lakh. Understood? Understood? I was understanding this doubt will come. But just try to understand here, here, that is what I want to say. That is the, because it is onerous. Because of that reason we are selling. And when you want to purchase it, means if you do not want to cancel the contract, so you know there is scrap value of this product. Scrap value na. The scrap value should be considered to find out the actual loss. Actual loss. Otherwise, so if I am saying in this way, just try to understand. If the suppose this is 9 lakh and this is 15 lakh, then you will always go for what? First options na. So why you are going with the first option? Because you know there is an expected recovery because of what? Scrap value of that asset. Understood? So in this point, special circumstances there will consider it. Got it? Have you understood this point? Correct? Boolna rahi. There was one good question. Where is that question? Hmm. Come to this question. As a question 30 already I have explained. This was an exam question. Sun Limited has entered into a binding agreement with Moon Limited to buy a custom-made machine of 4 lakh. At the end of 2017-18, before delivery of the machine, Sun Limited had to change the method of production. The new method will not require the machine order, which is to be scrapped, and after delivery, the expected scrap value is nil. In this question, it is given expected scrap value is nil. Given that asset is yet to be delivered, should any liability will be recognized for potential loss? Yes, it should be recognized because now the contract become onerous. If so, give the reason for the same, the amount of liability as well as the accounting entry. 5 marks question, 5 out of 5 if you know the concept. Got it? Same thing is given, you can read. They have created a provision of 4 lakh minus scrap value is nil and penalty point is not given. Penalty point is not given, ignore it. The amount of provision will be 4 lakh. The amount of provision will be 4 lakh. Done. Got it. Now one summary has been given about the provision, contingent liability and no treatment. So you can read by your own, you will be able to understand. Means we need to always find out whether obligation is present, possible or remote. Then outflow resource is probable, not probable or remote, or estimation can be made or not. For example, if it is present, outflow is also probable and can be made, then amount should be recognized as a provision. You can read it for your understanding, it has been given a summary. Correct? Already I have explained. Now, changes in provision. Changes in provision. Can I say whatever provision we have created for current year is based on the information available in current year. Next year, if suppose the obligation still exists, the circumstances may change, and if circumstances change, so we should require to do reassessment of the amount of provision. Means they can be either increase or decrease in the amount of provision. So that reassessment required to be done through PL only. Understood? And if suppose in the next year provision is no longer required, so entire provision amount will be reversed. Entire provision amount will be reversed. Understood? That is only given. Provision must be reviewed at each reporting date. and adjusted to reflect best current estimate. If the provision is no longer required, as it is not probable, amount of provision must be reversed. The last class, one student has asked me, so whether it is fair from the point of view of disclosure in SOPL. Means what he was saying, just try to understand. Suppose this is what 1 year. There was one high court case was pending. It was pending, and therefore we applied Ind AS 37. And as per Ind AS 37, let us assume provision is required. Provision is required. And as per the information available as on this date, as per the opinion given by the lawyer, we have created a provision of 10 lakh. Means our profit is decreased by 10 lakh. It means our profit is decreased by 10 lakh. Now it might happen that next year the actual case was decided. Actual case was decided, and the case was in favor of the company. Case was in favor of the company, quite possible. Now case was in favor of company. So my question to you all, whether in the last year we have done some error, whether creating a provision of 10 lakh was an error. No, it was not an error. Entire information whatever we give in financial statement is based on estimate. It is not absolutely correct. We give only our fair opinion that this is the amount of profit, but the amount of profit is not the actual profit. This is based on the information available on that reporting date. Understood? So of course in the next year we'll reverse the amount of provision. We'll reverse the amount of provision, means our profit will increase by what? 10 lakh. So this is fair information only. This is not unfair from the user point of view. Understood? Have you understood this point? Yes, sir. So of course I think this point was very simple. Then unwinding of provisional amount. Unwinding. This is important. Unwinding means what? Unwinding means what? See, right now what I am saying, suppose the amount was payable after 1 year, and this is the reporting date. This is the reporting date. So what we'll do? We'll create a provision. We'll create a provision with what amount? 10 lakh multiplied by 0.909. Let us assume discounting rate is 10%. Let us assume rate of discount is equal to 10%. Understood? So it become what? 9 lakh 9,000. 9 lakh 9,000. Means what journal entry we have done? Profit and loss account debit to provision. How much? 9 lakh 9,000. 9 lakh 9,000. Correct. Now let us assume the actual amount is also 10 lakh. I don't want to change the amount 10 lakh right now. It can be changed. This 10 lakh can become what? 15 lakh. On actual event it can be 15 lakh now. But let us assume for simplicity it remain 10 lakh. My question to you, that you will pay 9 lakh 9,000 or 10 lakh? 10 lakh only. It means, can I say in the next year, means next year on 31st March, you should increase 9 lakh 9,000 to what? 10 lakh. Understood? Means when you converted 10 lakh to 9 lakh 9,000, it is known as discounting. So when you are converting present value to future value, it is known as what? Compounding. Compounding means what? Adding interest. Adding interest. This is known as unwinding of provisional amount. Unwinding. So when you have discounted, we call it winding up. When you are adding interest, we call it unwinding. We call it unwinding. Understood? A new term in your life. Unwinding of provisional amount. So guys, due to unwinding of provisional amount, the amount of provision will increase by which amount? By the amount of interest, and this amount, the increased amount, will be recognized as a borrowing cost. It will be borrowing cost and charged to PL as an expense. Means what journal entry will do? Will increase now. So what journal entry will do? Interest expense account debit. First will increase the provision amount. So 9 lakh 9,000, how much will add? 81, na? 81,000. And now the provisional amount become 10 lakh. And then we'll say provision account debit to bank, how much? 10 lakh. Understood. So this is known as unwinding of provisional amount. Unwinding of provisional amount. So every year the amount of provision will increase by the amount of interest, and this interest will be recognized as an expense in SOPL. Simple. This is FM, huh? Discounting. If there is a discounting, there will be compounding also. Got it? Simple. What is given? When discounting is used, carrying amount of provision increases every year. That increased amount is treated as borrowing cost. Borrowing cost. That increased amount is treated as borrowing cost. For borrowing cost, we need to refer Ind AS 23. Which Ind AS? Coming soon in your life. Coming soon in your life. AS 16, you remember? AS 16. That is nothing but Ind AS 23 now. Any doubt in this? No doubt? No doubt now. Then, use of provision. Now one question arises, suppose we created a provision for a obligation. Now that provision is not required. Can we use that amount for some other obligation? Understood the situation? We created a provision for certain obligation, but now that obligation will not arise. But we have already created provision. So that amount can be used for another obligation. No. Means if it is not required, reverse it. It cannot be used for other purpose. It cannot be used for other purpose. Clarification given. I hope you all know this point. Correct? That is given. A provision should be used only for the expenditure for which it was originally recognized. In other words, it cannot be used for any other purpose. Correct? Accounting treatment. If related to expense, what will journal entry? Expense account debit to provision. Expense account debit or PL account debit. I can say both are same. Expense account debit to provision. Expense account debit to provision. And if it is not required, so for reversal of provision, what journal entry? Provision account debit to expense. Means it is a reduction of expense. So when I am saying PL, it is reduction of expense. It is not gain. It is not gain. So when you are saying reversal of provision, it is not a gain. It is reduction of expense. Reduction of expense. Have you understood this point? Now, it is quite possible that this amount is related to acquisition or construction of an asset. Construction of an asset. Means, for example, I am just asking one question to you. For example, we have paid some salary to any employee, your wages to a labor for construction of plant and machinery. So that wages will be charged to PL, it will be capitalized. Have you understood what I am saying? One second. Suppose you have paid wages to labor for construction of plant and machinery of factory. So that wages will be charged to PL, it will be capitalized to the cost of that asset. Capitalized. Same thing here also. Whatever obligation we are creating, this might be directly attributable to the acquisition or construction of asset. Understood? So in that case, will you charge it to PL or you will capitalize? Capitalize. Therefore, it is a special situation. If related to acquisition or construction of asset, the journal entry will be asset account debit to provision and provision account debit to asset. What happened? One doubt has come. 1 minute. In case if the winding of provisional amount, if it is 15 lakh instead of 10 lakh, then the amount considered as borrowing cost will be 15 lakh. No. Arey, lakh. One second, let us come to this doubt. Now just try to understand what he is saying. I said the actual amount is 15 lakh. This is the actual amount. So once it is actually incurred, now Ind AS 37 is not applicable. Are you able to understand? In the second year, it is actually incurred now. Will you apply Ind AS 37 once again? No. It means the actual amount become 15 lakh. Actual amount become 15 lakh. First you will do unwinding of this amount. This become 81,000. This become interest expense. And now you will say, what was your provisional amount? 10 lakh. Understood? And suppose the actual outflow is what? 15 lakh. So it become expense, not interest expense. It become expense, not interest expense. He was saying that this 5 lakh will be also interest expense. No, no, no. This 5 lakh is not interest expense. It is the expense for the expenditure whatever is actually incurred. Understood? Have you understood this point? What was doubt? Doubt was that, sir, if 10 lakh become 15 lakh, then entire difference will be interest cost. No, no, no. Interest cost will be only the amount by which we are increasing the present value to future value. Present value to future value. That is the interest element. Whatever extra amount you are paying due to actual outcome, that is an expense for that particular obligation. Got it? Good doubt. Chalo, theek hai. One more doubt came. In case of executive contract provision, if it is created for higher, it is better than lower. So why lower? Who said we should create higher provision? I have never said. I have never said it is we should create higher provision. Just try to this entire accounting is done by management. Management will never create higher provision. They will create lower provision based on Ind AS 37. Based on Ind AS 37. I am saying it is better to create higher provision. In my first class, I said it is better to create higher provision from the point of user. From the point of user. Correct now? But just try to understand, management will create provision what is required as per Ind AS 37. Unnecessary. Why will create higher provision? It is unnecessary now. So whatever you are saying, that is not correct. Got it? Chalo. Now coming to the next point. Have you understood this journal entry? Asset account debit to provision, provision account debit to asset. अरे बोलना रही. Now of course you will not leave me. You will ask me one example. You will ask me one example now. And if I will not give example, what you will do? You need to ask me again and again. Correct? So when I have said understood, you said yes. No, you have not understood till I explain it. I have asked you one question. Have you understood? Most of you said yes, sir. No, no, no. You have not understood because you don't know any example of this. Can you give me one example if you are saying yes, we have understood? You have understood journal entry, but what actually the case is that you don't know. Because till now in CA Foundation, CA Inter, you have done PL account debit to provision. For the first time, I am saying asset account debit to. So will you accept? No. Sir, give example. Hmm. So this is one special case. One example I will give, but not now. Because right now, if I will give example, you will not understand. So I'll give an example on of this in AS 16. In AS 16 means AS 10 revised property, plant and equipment. So example I'll give, but not now, under Ind AS 16. Got it? So it is deferred from my point of view. I will only take this example, don't worry. Just try to, example has been given by him. I need to give explanation also now. So you say there was some accident. Accident means abnormal loss. Abnormal loss is never capitalized. That is charged to P&L. Correct? Correct? That also will understand under Ind AS 16 AS 10 revised. Correct? Correct? Yes. Have we understood this much? Correct. Now, restructuring. Already I have said one example of restructuring. Last point of this chapter, restructuring. Restructuring. Very important topic from examination point of view. And this point I will also take in some other Indias also. If you are not understanding, ask me doubt till you understand this point. Restructuring means changes in the scope of business. Changes in the scope of business without entering into liquidation. Without entering into liquidation. Means the entity is going concern, but the scope of business will change. Scope of business will materially change. Correct? So what they are saying, it is a program which materially changes the scope of business without affecting what? Without affecting GC. GC means going concern. So when I am saying we have decided to liquidate, then this is not restructuring. But if I say we are closing down one business, it becomes what? Restructuring. We are shifting our location from this place to another place. This is restructuring. Correct? For example, our face to face was Himayat Nagar. We want to change the location from Himayat Nagar to SR Nagar. This become restructuring. This become restructuring. Correct? So, for example, sale of any division. Division means component, yeah, business of that entity. Not sale of entity. When I am saying sale of entity, then it become what? Going concern affected, liquidation. Termination of a division. Division means once again business. One business is terminated. Correct. Closing of a business location or relocating. Closing of a business location or relocating. Correct. Now, everyone just try to understand this point. Why this concept is given in this chapter, that we need to understand. So right now is 31st March. Now we have decided to close one factory. We have decided to close one factory. Decided, not decided means okay, decided. But actual closure will happen after some time, not immediately. It may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take 5 years also. But we have decided, yes, we are going to close down. Now will decrease our operations slowly. But it may take some time to actual closure because we may have some contractual obligation which need to be what? Which need to be carried on. Got it? Let us assume actual closure may take some time, 2 years or 3 years, that we don't know right now. But from explanation point of view, let us assume that it will be actually closed here. Now when there will be actual closure, then can I say, because factory closed down, there will be some employee. The employee need to be retrenched, and on retrenchment we need to pay some compensation to them. It means due to this decision, some compensation may be payable, or there may be some other directly related expenses of restructuring. Means there may be some legal expenses, etc. also. Let us assume, I don't know what will be the amount, but there will be some legal expenses which is directly related to such a restructuring. Have you understood? Of course, if the factory will be closed down, that is known that we need to pay some compensation to the labor. Understood? Now the question arises, you have decided to close down the factory, whether provision is required or not required. Have you understood the case now? Case you understood? The provision for restructuring expenses. Provision for restructuring expenses. So should we create a provision for such expenses today? That is the case. What do you think? Huh? It is a future event. No, but you have decided to close down now. You have decided to close down. Some event already occurred. Someone decided to close down in what? in directors meeting. Now okay, मजा आ रहा, resolution passed. Now थोड़ा मजा आया. Now you're getting some weight. In the directors meeting, decision taken, resolution passed. So some event occurred, na? Past event is there, na? Now say, should we disclose? Huh? 31st March 2021 is the reporting period. Follow. Should we create or should we not create? Should we create or we should not create provision? We should create. Means you are saying decided. तो मजा आ रहा है. Let me take one example. ठीक है, you'll be able to understand my emotions. Let me create some emotions. I have decided to marry a girl. I'm already married, huh? But I may decide. अरे बोलना रे. I have decided to marry a girl. Should I create a provision for marriage expenditure? I have decided, till now no approval, huh? From the other party. Just try to understand. See, even though directors have passed resolution, till now there is no commitment. It can be reversed. Decision can be reversed. So even though directors meeting done, but directors has decided now, there should be some commitment level. If I say in this way, I have decided means I have proposed a girl, girl also approved and family also approval, then we'll think about marriage. Then we'll create a provision for marriage expense. It means what India 37 says, of course decision has been taken, but till it is committed, don't create a provision. And if there is some commitment to this, create a provision. For example, just try to understand. I have decided means 3-4 years before now, actually I have taken a decision that I will not teach CA foundation. 3 years before, I will not teach CA foundation. So suppose I have decided that I will not teach CA foundation. Correct? I have decided. So whether it means I will not teach, I can teach also. Give me 20 lakh per batch. अरे बोलना रे. But suppose if I am committed to this, what I will do? If I am committed to this plan, I will give one announcement in my social media that I am not going to teach now CA foundation. So when I am doing such announcement, can I say it gives an indication that I am now committed to this? If I will do such announcement to social media that I am not teaching CA foundation, means I am informing to my to past student that I am not going to teach CA foundation, so they will not refer me now. अरे बोला रे. So that announcement I'll give, that announcement I'll make only when I am only when I am committed. Otherwise I'll never do such announcement. Until now I've never done such an announcement in public media, social media, because I can take, because I'm not committed to that. I'm not committed to that. Understood? So what India 37 says that if at this point of time there is commitment, then create provision. Otherwise do not create provision. Otherwise do not create provision. So how to find out that commitment, that we need to understand. For that what India 37 says, let us understand. A provision for restructuring cost is required when the recognition criteria of provisions are satisfied. Recognition criteria means 3 criteria. Present obligation arising from past event, outflow must be probable, and reliable estimation can be made. My question to you are, here there is a legal obligation or constructive obligation? Legal or constructive? Constructive obligation, constructive obligation. So what India 37 says, a constructive obligation for restructuring arises when? Means there must be constructive obligation on 31st March. There must be constructive obligation on 31st March, and it arises when, point number 1, entity has a detailed formal plan of restructuring. Means the resolution has been passed. In that there is a detailed formal plan has been created. Entity has a detailed formal plan of restructuring, and there is one more condition, and entity has started to implement such plan. entity has started to implement such plan means they have given some advertisement in newspaper that we want potential customer to purchase this factory. It means they have intention to sell and started to implement such plan means they have done some activity which indicate that they have a commitment to sell that factory, correct now. So an entity has started to implement such plan or announce the main feature, announce the main feature of restructuring plan to those affected by it. Suppose I have done one announcement to all the employee of the factory that we are going to close down. Now you can search alternative job. So it means we are committed now. Otherwise, we'll never do such announcement because it will affect our goodwill. It will affect our goodwill. Understood? So what they are saying, if these two conditions will be satisfied, then there will be constructive obligation on reporting date. And if there is a constructive obligation with that two more conditions are satisfied, then only recognize provision. Understood? So this become very important from examination point of view because this you need to mention in exam. So can you repeat with me? A constructive obligation arises when entity has a detailed formal plan of restructuring and point number B, entity has started to implement such plan or announce the main feature of this plan to those who are affected by it. Got it? I hope with this India studies when you have understood level of CA final. Level you understanding? Therefore, I have not started with a chapter which is totally new because if I started with that chapter, you will not just this is a new chapter, level will be high only. I will started with basic chapter to explain you that you need to give time to each and every chapter now. Correct? Now, measurement of provision. A restructuring provision should include only direct expenditure arising from restructuring, which are those that are both necessary entailed by the restructuring and not associated with the ongoing activities of the entity. Means we should create provision for only those expenditure which are directly related to restructuring activities. Means it should not relate to the ongoing activities of the business. Ongoing activities of business means in the example which I have taken, just try to understand. Everyone, just try to understand. Can I say, suppose this is the case we have decided to close down, resolution passed, and also we have done announcement. So we should create a provision. We should create a provision. Now, on this date, can I say we may pay some salary also, past salary also na. अरे बोलना रे. Suppose there was an arrear of 3 months salary, so that is also payable. My question to you all: this salary is for ongoing activities of business, or this is related to restructuring activity? And therefore we should not create provision for such ongoing activities. So of course there may be some salary payable to such employee for past services. For that you are not supposed to create provision. You are supposed to create provision only for those expenditure which are directly related to restructuring activities. Means any compensation payable to the employee, that will be accounted as provision. Got it? Yes sir. Correct. Next point. What is given? A restructuring provision does not include such costs as retraining or relocating continuing staff, marketing expenses, or investment in new system or distribution network. Have you understood this point? The restructuring provision does not include such costs. Important. Retraining or relocating of employees. They may be restructuring. So in that restructuring, we require relocation of staff, yeah, employee from one place to another place, or some marketing activities required for sale of such factory, or some investment in new system. Suppose we have decided to close down an old factory and started a new factory with new technology. So new investment is required. So should we create a provision for such expenses? What is it? Have you understood what I am saying? We have decided to close down or relocate our factory. So for that, shifting expense is required, correct? Or marketing activity is required, or some new investment is required. I said now, due to COVID, face-to-face class was stopped and we enter into new technology that was actually new for many of the teachers. This conversion from face-to-face to recorded classes, many teachers have stopped teaching only after in during COVID period. Many teachers have started doing some jobs because they were not able to acquaint this with this recording. Are you able to? It is not possible to teach in studio without student like this. Not possible, na. We are not actor, na. We are actor. We are not actor. We can express only in front of students. Are you getting? And those who are actor, they are doing good in this business. Correct now. And those who are not able to act in a studio room, they have stopped teaching only. So this requires new technology, new style of teaching, new investment is required. So we have closed down our face to face and we started our studio. The studio requires new investment. So should we create a provision for that? That is the point. What do you think? Yes or no? Yes or no? Already I said no. A restructuring provision does not include such cost. Why? Why? Very good. Can I say it is based on future conduct of business? Whether you are doing new investment or not, that is based on future conduct of business. Whether you are relocating your employee, that is based on future conduct of business. Whether you are doing marketing activities or not, that is future conduct of business. So this is based on future conduct of business, and already we have said that any obligations which are dependent on future conduct of business should not be recognized as provision. Understood? Correct? Very good point. Last point. Future operating loss up to the date of restructuring are not included in a provision. Already know future operating loss means if I am saying this loss, should we create a provision for this? So on this date, this is future operating loss. So we should not create any provision for future operating loss till the date of actual restructuring. Correct? Because that is based on future business. Understood? Super important from examination point of view. All these points are important. Let me take one question to inform you that why this entire point is important. Can I take one question? Question number 28. Write down MRQ. MRQ means must revise question before exam. Must revise question before exam. There are some questions which require revision before exam. Otherwise, you will not able to write. So that information I will provide. These are MRQ questions. Can I read? U Limited is a large conglomerate with a number of subsidiaries. First thing, everyone, parent company will prepare SFS and what? CFS. Correct? Now, Ind AS is also applicable to CFS also. Means Ind AS 37 will be applicable. Ind AS 37 will be applicable for separate financial statement, and Ind AS 37 will be also applicable for consolidated financial statement. But can I say for consolidated financial statement, Ind AS 37 will be applicable to parent and subsidiary together? Only that is the difference. Nothing more than that. Means you will consider parent subsidiary as a single entity and apply Ind AS 37 and apply Ind AS 37. Understood? So it might happen the question is based on consolidation. So don't panic. You know Ind AS 37 applied. Got it? Yes, sir. It is preparing consolidated financial statement as on 31st March 2018 as per the notified Ind AS. The financial statement are due to be authorized for issue on 15th May 2018. Whenever a question is lengthy, question you can see the size of the question is this is so chalo one page is, it is coming in our book. but in examination question paper this will be 2 page, because they will use bigger font and spacing between two line will be also much. Because of this same question will be 2 page in what? In your exam question paper. 2 page. Oh, correct. So whenever there is a big question, what is my suggestion? While reading, you should write down each and every point in your answer paper. How to write, I will explain. First question I am writing. Second question I will write. Third question also I write. Then onward you need to write down by your own. You need to understand all the question, entire question by writing at the time of reading only. Correct? Yes, sir. So you can see 31st March 2018 and it was approved on which date? 15th May 2018. Correct? Got it? Means when you are writing, so how should you write down? So we are doing question number. So what is the reporting date? 31st March 2018. What is the approval date? 15 June 2018 na? 15 May. 15 May 2018. चलेगा? Okay? Yes, sir. Next. It is seeking your assistance for some transactions that have taken place in some of its subsidiary during the year. Thank you very much. G Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of U Limited engaged in management consultancy on 31st Jan 2018. On 31st Jan 2018, the board of directors of U Limited decided to discontinue the business of G Limited from 30th April 2018. Oh, so 31st Jan. This is the date. And discontinue on which date? 30th April. Understood this point? Correct? Okay, sir. They made a public announcement of their decision on 15th Feb 2018. Oh, 15th Feb. So 15th Feb announcement made. So can I say both the conditions satisfied? There was a detailed formal plan and announcement was made before 31st March. It means, can I say on 31st March there is a constructive obligation for restructuring and therefore we should create provision. Therefore we should create provision. If in this question this announcement was made after 31st March, then there was no constructive obligation. Then there was no constructive obligation. Understood? Yes, sir. Then what? G Limited does not have many assets or liability, and it is estimated that outstanding trade receivable and payable would be settled by 31st May 2018. Can you see this receivable and payable settlement is ongoing activities? Ongoing activities. Can I say कांटा लगा? बकवास पॉइंट ना. Settlement of receivable and payable is ongoing activities. So will you take any consideration of this point? Ignore. Ignore. U Limited would collect any amount still owed by G Limited customer after 31st May 2018. Ongoing activities. They have offered the employee of G Limited termination payment or alternative employment opportunities. Means to the employees they have given two options, either termination compensation or alternative employment in the same group. Following are the some details relating to G Limited. On the date of public announcement, it is estimated by G Limited that it would have to pay 540 lakh as termination payment to employee, and the cost of relocation of employee who would remain within the group would be 60 lakh. Means they have estimated that some employee will demand termination compensation and some employee will demand alternative job or opportunities. Correct now? Means relocation cost. So what they are saying on the date of public announcement. So on the date of public announcement means this date. Correct? But what is the termination compensation? 540 lakh. What is the relocation cost? 60 lakhs. Correct? You have written. Correct? Yes, sir. Then the actual termination payment totaling rupees 520 lakh were made in full on 15th May 2018. Oh, means actual payment on 15th May means on the date of approval is how much? 520 lakh. This is the actual payment before approval of financial statement. Before approval of financial statement means AS4 will be applicable. AS4 you know. I am assuming that AS4 you know. Ind AS 10 will do. Correct? Yes, sir. Then what is given? And as per the latest estimate made on 15 May 2018, the total relocation cost will be 63 lakh. Means on this date, they once again estimated what will be the relocation cost. This will be 63 lakh. This is estimated. This was actual. Okay, correct? Yes, sir. Then G Limited had taken a property on operating lease which was expiry on 31st March. The present value of future lease payment using an appropriate discount rate is 430 lakh. On 15 May 2018, G Limited made a payment to the lessor of 410 lakh in return for early termination of lease. But this point you delete. Why this point is deleted? When this question was created, at that time there was Ind AS 17, but now Ind AS 17 is replaced with Ind AS 116. So therefore this para is actually not applicable now. The accounting has been changed. You just delete it. Correct? Due to write down due to Ind AS 116. Means now this point will not be asked in exam. If asked, it means they don't know anything. So this para is totally redundant now. Leave it. The loss after tax of G Limited for the year ended 31st March 2018 is 400 lakh. Means current year loss is how much? What is current year loss? 400 lakhs. Correct? Yes, sir. Okay. G Limited made a future operating loss totaling with 60 lakh till 30th April 2018. Means what they are saying from this date to the actual closure, this date. The loss is how much? 40 lakh, na? 40 lakh. Sorry, 60 lakh. 60 lakh. How should you Limited present the decision to discontinue the business of G Limited in its CFS in its consolidated statement of comprehensive income? Means this question has been taken from international book. And I say I don't know how to edit the question. Statement of comprehensive income is known as statement of PL in India. So better you can change if you want to change. If this is not comprehensive income statement, this is statement of PL in India. Already I have said. Already I have said in the first class. Yes, sir. Means this question was taken from international book. Simple. Correct. What are the provisions that the company is required to make as per Ind AS 37? Have you understood this entire question? Question was very big, but solution is only it will take 1 minute. And to write another 4 minutes. Means 5 minutes में solution does. To understand. Now if you have understood the concept, if you have understood the question, you can react. First thing, should we create provision for restructuring? Yes. Yes. Should we create a provision for termination cost? Termination compensation? How much? 540 ki 520? 540, 520. How many are saying 540? How many are saying 520? So 520 is correct, means you have forgotten AS4. Means of course we need to apply Ind AS 10 also, na? Event occurring after balance sheet date. Now just try to understand. This was an estimation, but actual event occur before approval of financial statement, which provide further evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date. Adjustment is required or not? Yes, adjusting event. Therefore, your provision should be 520 lakh, not 540 lakh. Means this is Ind AS 37 plus Ind AS 10 coming soon. We'll do in detail. Don't worry. So if you have forgotten AS4, nothing to worry. We'll do detailed discussion in the next chapter. So your amount of provision will be 520 lakh. Correct. Now, should we create any provision for relocation cost? Yes or no? Very good. Understood. Means no, no provision. Should we create a provision for 400 lakh? This is the actual loss already recorded. Should we create a provision for 60 lakh? No. Low. Done. If you know the concept, the question is actually good question, I will say. But if you know the concept, each and every point, you can answer it in 1 minute. Writing will take 4 to 5 minutes. 6 minutes may done. So there are two things. First is conceptual understanding and then understanding of question also. In exam, you can write only once you understand the question. For that, reading habit should be there. You should also develop reading habit. If you are not able to understand the information, because concept you will not be able to apply. Got it? Have you understood? Yes, sir. Understood. You can see done. The chapter is over. Scope. Actually, scope means the first point of this chapter. Scope means what is not applicable under Ind AS 37. So, Ind AS 37 is not applicable to executory contract unless onerous. Now you can understand this point. Initially, if I will say it is not applicable to executory contract, you will say why? So therefore, I am doing a then. Okay. So Ind AS 37 is not applicable to executive contract unless it is onerous. It is not applicable to financial instrument. It is not applicable to financial instrument. Financial instrument have some financial asset, have some financial liability. What is financial asset? What are financial liability? Detailed discussion will be done in the respective chapter. One of the example of financial asset is receivable. One of the example of financial liability is creditor. Correct? So Ind AS 37 is not applicable to receivable. Ind AS 37 is not applicable to creditor also. Correct? One of the example. It is also not applicable to income tax. Why it is not applicable to income tax? Because for income tax we have a specific standard Ind AS 12. Ind AS 12 deferred tax. So we have a specific standard, therefore income tax is scoped out from this chapter. It is also not applicable to any employee benefit. Why? Because we have a specific standard for that, that is Ind AS 19, therefore scoped out from this chapter. Employee benefit has been scoped out from this chapter. It is also not applicable to insurance contract, any obligation which is arising due to insurance contract, because it is covered under a specific Ind AS 104. But good point is that this is not in syllabus. Why it is not in syllabus? Because I already said now कि Ind AS 117 is in drafting stage. Till now up to 116. Ind AS 117 is under drafting stage, till now not effective. And Ind AS 117 is related to Ind AS 104 only. So once it will become effective, Ind AS 104 will be deleted and Ind AS 117 will be effective. So it is not in our syllabus. So you need to pass as soon as possible. Otherwise, you need to read Ind AS 117 also. Correct. Then contingent consideration arising in business combination. So this point is applicable under Ind AS 103. Detailed discussion of this point will be done under Ind AS 103. Coming soon, like business combination. Understood. Differences. Ind AS 37, AS 29 differences. Correct. Constructive obligation, AS 29 is silent. Ind AS 37 deals with constructive obligation. Understood. Correct. Discount allowed if time value of money is material. Correct. Not allowed. There is only one exception case where discounting is also allowed under AS 29. Only one exception case, and that was due to AS 10 revised. That was due to revision of AS 10. Correct now. So this exception point I will discuss when I will do Ind AS 16. I will discuss this point, nothing to worry, but not right now under Ind AS 16. Contingent asset required disclosure in financial statement. It required disclosure in the report of approving authority. Onerous contract. Onerous contract. What Ind AS 37 says, it requires recognition of impairment loss on the asset dedicated to such contract before any provision is created as per Ind AS 37. Intensely, I have not done this point because till now you don't know impairment loss. Understand? For example, I have taken one example of machinery purchase. It become onerous contract. So for machinery, first we need to create impairment loss as per India 36, and then balance amount should be created as a provision. Means any asset which is a part of that onerous contract, first apply impairment loss. First apply impairment loss, calculate impairment loss, recognize it. The balance amount should be the amount of provision. Correct? So of course this point I can't explain right now because you don't know impairment loss. You don't know impairment loss. So this is also given under India 37. It requires recognition of impairment loss on the asset dedicated to such contract before any provision is created as per India 37. However, this point was silent under AS 29. Whether they will ask the difference in exam, remote chances. Very remote chances. In ICI study material they have given, but they don't have a scope of asking this question because syllabus is very vast and marks is only 100. Correct? Understood? So they will never ask, but I will do because it is a part of ICI study material. And I am also doing that because most of you are applying AS, not India. You should know AS also. Correct? Chapter over. Now, coming to question bank. If you come to question bank, how I have designed the question bank? Let us check. How I have designed the question bank? You can see question bank started with some concept based example. This out of this concept based example, most of the example I have taken in class. These are example illustration, not question. For example, fitting smoke filter, I have not taken this example, but I have taken this example staff retraining as a result of changes in income tax system. Remember, future conduct of business. So most of the example I have taken, some of the example I have not taken also. You can read, you can understand by your own. This is for understanding the concept. I have given some example to understand the concept more clearly. Correct? You need to just read it. And if you do not understand, give star mark, you can ask me. Don't waste your time in understanding by your own. If you are understanding, very good. If you are not understanding, give star mark. Okay, we'll discuss. Then after that, you can see once this over, then it is given question from ICI study material. Question from ICI study material. This you need to read by your own. If I have not done the question in class, it is your duty to read by your own. You can see how many questions, 15 questions is from ICI study material. This is must. ICI study material is must. Then I have given question, new question in ICI study material. This is newly introduced, so it become more important. Newly introduced question become more important. These are very simple. Once you read, you will be able to understand. If any doubt, you can ask me. Then question from other sources. These you can ignore if you have less time. Because other sources now. If you do not have time, I will say ignore. Are you getting? But if you have time or if you want to read, what I will do, what I will suggest, read question, read solution immediately without applying your mind. Means don't solve solution by your own. If you solve, it will take more time now. If you read question, if you read solution, it will take less time. So once you read question, so can I say why reading question automatically some point will come? If the same point is given solution, means you have understood. So what I will do, what I will suggest, if you have some time or you can take out some of your time from your hectic schedule, just read it for confidence level, for increasing your confidence level. Understood? Any point which you have not understood, give star mark. Don't waste your time. You can ask me doubt in class. Correct? Then you can see question from RTP, MTP exam and some question I have taken from GFRS subject also. Because I have seen that they will first ask question in GFRS Next attempt, the same question will be asked in what? FR. Some good question I have taken from that book, only for the margin of safety. This are also must do. This you can't ignore. Question will directly will come from this source. Correct? So this you can read. However, 90% question you can do by rote. Only 10%. I know in which question you will have doubt. I know in which question you will have doubt. So what I will do, I'll give some question as practice. Write down some question. Write down. Question number 20. Question number 20, 30, 33, 20, 30, 33, 16, 9, 28, 15. 20, 30, 33, 16, 9, 28, 15. It might happen one of the question I have done also in class. If not done, these are the question must do today only. Today only, you can't defer it, Today only you need to do these questions. Means whatever question I am giving in class, it means these are the questions where you may have some doubt. Understood? In other question you will have no doubt. Got it? Are you able to understand? Two more question write down. Question of 4 and 13. Question of 4 and 13. 4 and 13. 1, 3. Correct. Must do question. Don't come without reading this question. If you are coming without reading question, then also okay. Because your life, your career, you decide now. I can only guide you. I can't force you in CA final level. So this chapter is completed from my point of view. Let us take a break, and after break we'll start what? A new chapter. हो गया टाइम? चलो sure. Can we start once again, everyone? I hope you have understood India's 37, the first chapter. So one rule of class is that whatever question I am giving, that is must do today only, today night, because tomorrow morning we are meeting, and tomorrow morning we'll discuss all that question, whether you are doing or whether you are not doing. But what I want that if you understand by your own, that bring confidence in your life. And because of that reason, some good question I have given. If I will do now, then you will think simple only, because I am discussing. Whenever I am with you now, you are at comfort stage. Whenever I am in the class, you are comfortable. When I am not with you, you need to apply your own mind. That is more important, because in exam I will be not with you now. So my suggestion, whatever question I'll give you limited question, not all question, that you do by rule. That is the rule of class. Okay? So can we start another chapter? That is what? In days 10. Chapter number 6. Event after reporting date. Corresponding AS4. Can I conclude that AS4 was one of the simplest accounting standard? And I hope everyone have understood that. Anyone who have not understood AS4, you need to say me right now if you have not understood. Bol. But before that, let me take one query. The query is that, sir, marketing for termination or sale of division is directly related. No, marketing, just try to understand. The restructuring is what? Sale of division. But whatever marketing you are doing, that is actually depends upon future conduct of business. It might happen without marketing you can sell. It might happen you have a budget, you want to do a very small marketing, but eventually you understand that it requires a lot of marketing. Correct now. So it actually depends upon future conduct of business. So all the marketing activities will be a part of future conduct of business. Correct? Understood. Therefore, marketing will not be directly related to restructuring activity. To my live student, one request is that once I clear your doubt, and if you understood, so just say me thank you so that I can understand that you have understood. Okay. Or you can say anything, but say that yes, we have understood. Okay. Coming to AS4, AS4 was very simple, simplest accounting standard, no doubt about that. But let us understand with Ind AS 10 that whether actually you know AS4 or not. Correct? Once again, 95% say only small differences is there. Means whatever you have done it's CA enter, that only I will teach. Nothing exceptional case. Correct? Now what is event after reporting date? Are those events which are favorable or unfavorable. Means this event can be either favorable or unfavorable from entity's point of view, and which occur between reporting date, and the date when the financial statement are approved for issue. Are approved for issue. Means what does it mean? What does it mean? Approved for issue. So approved for issue. Just try to understand. There are two approval required. One is the approval of director and then approval of shareholders. So which approval is required for this accounting standard? Approval of shareholders, directors, shareholders. I am confused. Confused. How many are saying shareholders? Bolo. How many are saying shareholder? Everyone saying directors? It is directors only. But why director? Shareholders are the owner. Manager is higher level or owner is higher level? Owner na. Baba, owner is owner. Owner is owner. You are saying director, but why director? My all the business handled by my managers also. I come and teach and go. So whether he will take all decision. Approval is required, na. Therefore, you say there are two approval. One is approval of directors, and after the approval of shareholders. Then why shareholders approval required? You only said that two approval. I have not said. I asked you how many approval. You said there are two approval. Approval of director and after that approval of shareholders. So why not approval of shareholders is mentioned? You said approval director, that is 100% correct. But why? That is one question to be asked or question to be understood. That I am asking. Why we are not waiting for approval of shareholders? That is a question. Let us assume all shareholders are chartered accountant. Okay. Let us assume. In India, all the decisions are taken by politicians. All politicians, qualifications, just go and see. They don't know anything about economic system. Ask them what is closed economy. They will say what is closed, that is closed. They are running the government without any qualifications. And we are only selecting them. Being educated, we are selecting them. In India में सब होता. Anyone was raising hand? वही पूछ रहा हूँ, फाइनल वहां क्यों होता? Correcting in English. If someone is saying in Hindi तो हिंदी निकल जाता. Shareholders are honor. That is correct. Shareholders are honor. That I am asking. They 99% are saying directors. You are only saying honor. Correct na? So my question is that only to this 99% student, that why not honor, why director? Now I am coming to the exact answer. As per Companies Act, as per law, once directors sign it, financial statement cannot be amended. When it is signed by directors, it cannot be amended. It cannot be amended until unless there is some special case. Understood? So shareholders approval is only formality. Correct? So you should say in this way, if once directors sign financial statement, it cannot be changed. Means can I conclude in this way? If this is the reporting period and this is the date of approval of financial statement. So on this date, we prepare a financial statement. Means financial statement is already prepared on 31st March, but that will be draft financial statement, and that can be amended till approval of. Means can I say draft financial statement can be changed till what time? Till it is approved by whom? Board of directors in their meeting, and therefore this AS was required. Can we do any adjustment in our draft financial statement which was prepared on 31st March? Yes. If event occur after reporting date but before approval of financial statement, and that event is adjusting event. Means such events are of how many types? Two types. Adjusting event, non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting event, no adjustment required, only disclosure required. Adjusting event, adjustment required. Adjustment means what? Passing journal entry and recording in our books of account. Correct. Now one doubt will come, everyone just try to understand. One doubt will come that in our Bachpan means CA foundation, we have done one concept, periodicity concept, and that says that all the transaction and event which occur in a particular accounting period should be recorded. Means any transaction or event which occur in the next accounting period should not be accounted in the current accounting period. Am I right or not? Correct. And one point you have done more, that journal should be recorded in a chronological order, date wise, as and when they occur. Have you understood? So the question arises, you have done AS4. This adjusting event, this is the event after reporting period. So can you say it is a violation of periodicity concept? No. Question is that whether it is a violation of periodicity concept. Yes or no? Hmm? No, event occur after reporting date, na? Please, please. देखो, I am asking question. There are two way of teaching. I can inform you everything without asking also. That take less time. When I am asking question, that take more time in class. But when I ask, you think, and when you think, you become better. When I am saying, you don't think, and when I am saying, you don't listen also. And when you don't listen, you don't understand. So when a teacher says only, so 70% thing you don't understand actually. You are thinking that you are understanding, but actually you are not understanding. So when I'm asking, you are thinking. When you are thinking, you are using your mind. When you are using your mind, it becomes better understanding. Okay, na? So please don't discuss when I'm asking something. Okay? So what I am saying, 1 second I'm asking the question. We have done periodicity concept. So whether AS4 or Ind AS 10 is a violation of periodicity concept. Yes or no? If you are saying no, then why? The answer you know, huh? Answer you know. I want the answer from your stomach. Hmm. Very good. बोलो बोलो. Means if there is no condition, and therefore it is not a violation of. I agree. I agree. But let us understand with some example. But let us understand with some example. Actually, you have understood the meaning of this point or not? Most of the time, whenever I ask this question in batch, every student, means most of you say this point only. The condition is existing on reporting date. Why you say this point? Because in your CA inter classes, your teacher has given emphasis to this term only, condition adjusting, condition adjusting, condition adjusting. यही तो किया. This only you have done ना. So your answer is correct. But let me understand whether you have understood the entire emotions of this statement or not. If you have understood emotions, then okay. And if you are not understanding emotions, then you will get motions in your exam. Understood? To stop motions, we need to understand the emotions. Correct? Okay. So let me only understand with some example. But first, let me complete this para, whatever I have done. I hope you have understood that we are only concerned about this event. Means, can I say any event which occur? Everyone. Any event which occur after approval of financial statement, means after signing of balance sheet or financial statement by director, these events are not covered in this chapter, even though it is related to condition existing on reporting date. Am I right or not? So there may be some event after approval of financial statement which provide further evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date, that should not be considered for this chapter. That should not be considered for this chapter. So only these events are covered in this chapter. The meaning you have understood. One thing we have understood, that this, when its financial statement are approved, it means it is approved by whom? Approved by board of directors. And because of this reason, some clarification has been given on the date of approval. Clarification given. Let us see what is the clarification. If financial statements are to be approved by shareholders after financial statements are approved by board of directors, financial statement approved for the issue on the date of approval, financial statement are approved for issue on the date of approval by board of directors. Understood this statement? So can I say every financial statement also require approval of shareholders in annual general meeting, but that is a mere formality. That clarification has been given. So we should not consider that date of approval. Date of approval will be the date when the financial statement is approved by the board of directors in their meeting. Clarification given. One more point. In some circumstances, financial statements are to be issued to supervisory board of non-executive director for approval after management approve financial statement. For example, I have taken a loan of 500 crore from a bank. Now, to protect the right of bank will appoint some supervisory board, which will be a group of non-executive directors, and the directors are actually the person of bank only. So once directors approve financial statement, that will be given to supervisory board for their approval, see whether the company is doing some fraud or not. Understood? Once again, a clarification has been given that supervisory board approval is only a formality. Once board of directors has approved it, that become date of approval for this chapter. These are the clarification. Just try to understand. If this point number B is asked in exam now, you will be confused. It might happen. So thus one clarification, that even though it requires approval of supervisory board, once it is approved by management, that is only a formality for this chapter. Date of approval will date when it is approved by the director. One more point, point number C. This I need to explain you. Let me take one example for this. Just try to understand. Suppose this is one financial year, and can I say we prepare financial information on quarterly basis? Correct? Just try to understand, everyone. Once financial statement are approved, means can I say information of financial statement is with whom? Public. Once it is approved, means now it is available with the information is available with the public at large. Are you able to understand what I am saying? It means when Q1 report has been published, so can I say the Q1 profit is known to whom? Public. So can I say its approval will be somewhere यहाँ पर, then Q2 approval will be somewhere यहाँ पर, Q3 approval will be somewhere यहाँ पर, and Q4 approval will be at this point of time. Means can I say once Q4 report is approved, so can I say all profit information is available with public? Correct? Understood? Now, can I say for annual report, there will be different meeting, directors meeting. Means this meeting and this meeting are different. So for finalization of annual financial report, there will be another meeting. And in this meeting, the annual financial statement will be signed by whom? Directors. Correct? Understood. But can I say already Q1, Q3, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 results are finalized? Have you understood? Now the question is that can we do some changes in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 financial information? Yes or no? Yes, we can make. Means for this annual financial statement, this is the date of approval. It has nothing to do with the previous quarterly report. Understood? That interim financial report and annual financial report are two different reports. Understood? So this is also a good question which can be asked in exam till now not asked, because from my point of view, if this such type of questions come, a student might be confused. Correct? What is given? If financial statements are approved by the board of directors after public announcement of profit, means interim financial report or other financial information, financial statement are approved for issue on the date of approval by board of directors. In all cases, one common thing, the date of approval is the date when the financial statement are approved by board of directors. A clarification has been given. Got it? Correct? I think no doubt. Now what I will do, I will take 10 to 12 questions of CA inter level, not CA final level. And let us understand what you know, what you don't know. If you know, very good. If you don't know, then also very good. Chalega? Can I start? Can I start? If you permit me. Now you all know about adjusting event, non-adjusting event. Anyone who don't know about adjusting event, non-adjusting event? If you don't know, let us read the definition also. Otherwise, we sir, event, adjusting event, non-adjusting event. Adjusting event are those events which provide further evidence of the condition existing on reporting date, and therefore it requires adjustment to financial statement. Non-adjusting event are those events which relate to any condition arising after reporting date. That become non-adjusting event. It does not require any adjustment. However, disclosure may be required if the amount is material. Correct. In this case also there is one difference. AS4 says disclosure is required in director's report of approving authority. Ind AS says disclosures are required where? In financial statement. So disclosure is required in financial statement. Meaning, let us come to the example. If you want to write, write. If you don't want to write, then also write. Write in the way I am writing, okay? Example number 1. This is RD. RD means what? Reporting date. This is DOA. DOA means what? Date of approval. Now, can you say on reporting date we'll prepare a draft financial statement? In draft financial statement, there was one debtor, Mr. Ram. Can I say in CA Inter, every faculty will start with debtor only? Bolo yes or no? I think in your CA Inter classes also the faculty has given the first example with debtor only. Bolo yes or no? And there is some misconception is that AS4 is only for debtor. But that is not the case. Okay? So I am also starting with debtor because I want to make you comfort. Mr. Ram, and the amount due was 10 lakh. Now what happened? What happened? Before approval of finance statement, fire occurred in Ram's factory. Similar example you have done now. Fire occurred in Ram's factory and he was declared insolvent and no amount is recoverable. No amount is recoverable. Understood? You need to say adjusting or non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? So what balance are saying? Everyone need to respond. There are two options only, adjusting, non-adjusting. There is no other option. Think and say. How many are saying adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? And balance don't know. You have done AS4 or not? Suppose this is your exam and you have to write something. What do you write? So, okay. But can I, some of you are saying adjusting, some of you are saying non-adjusting. One thing is clear, doubt is there. Can I say doubt is there or not? Means what is required? Discussion is required. Doubt is there, adjusting, non-adjusting, confusion is there, so this required. So this is a non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting event. Why adjusting? Can you say I said draft financial statement debtor Mr. Ram. I have not said he is a doubtful debtor. And there was no condition that he will not pay. Some event occur after reporting date, and because of that event he become insolvent, but that condition was not available on reporting date, and therefore it is a non-adjusting event. So you can see this event relate to condition arising after reporting date. It relate to some condition, but that condition arising has arisen after reporting date, not on reporting date. Understood? Therefore, it is a non-adjusting event. Got it? Any doubt? Dhire dhire level will increase. Any doubt in this? And therefore, no adjustment on 31st March. It requires a disclosure if the amount is material. चलेगा? Second example. Example number 2. Reporting date of approval. Once again, Mr. Ram. Amount due is 10 lakh. Correct? And on this date, he was a doubtful. Means there was a doubt of recovery. Why there was doubt? Because the credit period allowed was 2 months. But 10 months expired. Until now, he has not paid. Understood? Whenever we are calling this person, he is saying will pay. He is not saying will not pay. But there is a doubt of non-recovery, and therefore he become doubtful debtor. And because he become doubtful debtor, so can you say we'll create some allowance for bad and doubtful debt? Now I will not use which term? Very good, excellent. Will not use provision for doubtful debt, will use allowance for bad and doubtful debt. So can you say already some allowance is created for doubtful debt, and based on the current circumstances, means based on the best estimate, whatever you want to say, we have created an allowance of 2 lakh. This is draft finance statement. Okay. and the net amount is 8 lakh. This allowance is created as per Ind AS 109 coming soon. So you are not supposed to ask me right now how to create this allowance. This will be automatically covered under Ind AS 109. I am not discussing right now how to measure this allowance. This measurement discussion will be done under Ind AS 109. Got it? This much you understood? Now what happened? Before approval of financial statement, he was declared insolvent, and now no amount is recoverable. Correct? Batao. Adjusting, non-adjusting. I think everyone will say what? No doubt about this. Everyone will say adjusting event because this only you have done at C enter. And this is correct only. Yeah? 100% correct. 100% correct. Adjusting event. Anyone saying non-adjusting event? I think no one will say non-adjusting event because this relates to the condition existing on reporting date. But what is doubt? Doubt is what? Everyone. When you are saying adjusting event, so it means you need to adjust here on 31st March. So on 31st March, what adjustment entry will do? I'll give you two options. Two options. What will do? Hmm? Means what Jana entry will do? Batao. Alliance to I am giving it to Jana entry. You will say what need to be done. Correct. First option is what? We'll say bad debt. How much? 10 lakh. Already allowance was created. 2 lakh. To debtor. Sorry, my mistake. Already allowance how much created? So allowance will be 2 lakh, will be reverse. And bad debt how much? 8 lakh. To debtor how much? 10 lakh. Means entire 10 lakh will be charged to PL and debtor will decrease by 10 lakh. Right. Second option is what? Will increase the allowance by 8 lakh. Will increase the allowance by 8 lakh. 2 lakh was already created and 2 lakh plus 8 lakh. Now it will become 10 lakh. Understood? Two options I have given. But which one is correct? How many are saying first one? How many are saying second one? To balance what you are doing, dancing. Arey, simple journal entry I have given na. Either first one or second one. Raising hand will not disturb you na. Raise your hand in any options. How many are saying option number one? How many are saying option number two? चलो 50-50 लग रहा है इसमें. 50% is saying option number two, 50% is saying option number one. But one thing is clear, still we have some doubt. Still we have some doubt now. So correct is what? Option number two. And I said now, let me understand whether you have understood the emotions of this chapter or not. And because of that reason, I have asked this question. Everyone just try to understand. See, what was the event This was the event, and actual loss happened on which date? In the next financial year. Means he become bad debtor in next financial year, but he was doubtful debtor on reporting date. Means can he record bad debt in this financial year? No. This will violate which concept? Periodicity concept. Understand what I am saying? If you are saying bad debt, it means you are recognizing actual loss which occur in next year. And if it occurred in next year, how can you recognize actual loss? Means, of course, he was a doubtful debtor, but amount was not known. Amount was not known, na? And now you got confirmation about that amount. Are you able to understand? Means in draft financial statement you have said 10 lakh minus 2 lakh, 8 lakh. But before approval of financial statement you have understood that 10 lakh is not recoverable. So can you see from user point of view you should always inform the best estimate. And now estimation says it is not 2 lakh, the loss is what? 10 lakh. Therefore you should adjust that amount. Means you can't convert doubtful debtor to bad debtor because bad debtor he become in next financial year. Are you able to understand? Means you are doing adjustment of the condition. What was the condition? He was doubtful only, but you don't know the amount, and therefore estimation was required. And now you know the actual estimation. Now you know the actual figure. So better to inform actual figure to the user of financial statement. I hope you understood. So in this chapter, you need to apply your common sense. You need to just think that as a chartered accountant, you are here to present the correct information to the user of financial statement, and the correct information is known before approval of financial statement. Adjustment is required. Adjustment is required. Understood? Have you understood this point? And therefore, this entry is not correct. Bad debt entry will be done in the next financial year. Understood? The first journal entry you have done what? PL account debit to allowance 10 lakh, and next year you will do bad debt to debtor, and this bad debt will be adjusted with allowance. Means next financial year PL will not be debited. PL will not be debited. Understood? Have you understood this point? Follow. If you have understood, I'll go to the next example. Fast. Fast. Have you understood? Chalo. One more example. Example number 3. Reporting date. Date of approval. Once again, Mr. Ram, 10 lakh, and he was a doubtful debtor. And we have created an allowance of 2 lakh in our draft financial statement. Once again, allowance is created as per Ind AS 109. We are not discussing on that right now. Now, what happened before approval of financial statement? Ram paid entire amount. Oh, अच्छा, ये बात. Quite possible. He was a doubtful, but he has paid. Good person. Taken loan and paid the amount. Quite possible or not? Correct. But adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Now once again mix answer. Huh? How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? चलो मजा तो आ रहा है 50-50. Yeah. And there are actually I should say it is 33%, 33%, 33%. 30%. There are some students who are saying we don't know. Believe me, I am not worried about right answer. I am not worried about wrong answer. I am worried about those students who are not giving answer. Those who don't say, I am worried about them. Those who are saying wrong answer na, they will pakka do something. Wrong answer does not mean we can't earn. And every time CAs are wrong only. Means believe me, you ask anything to chartered accountant, they will take some time to answer. They will say, okay, tomorrow I'll give the answer, because they will read and come now. Yes, Ray. You ask anyone, you ask me. In FR I can answer because I am teaching from last 13 years. Ask me about costing. I will not say no because I am chartered accountant. अरे बोलना ना, can I say no? I say give me 2 days, थोड़ा busy चल रहा हूँ. Correct, then I will answer. Income tax I should know. Income tax as a chartered accountant I should know now, but I don't know. But if you ask me, can I say I don't know? I am a faculty, Baba. Can I say no? So what I will say, if some time is there, I go read and come and I will answer. So it means wrong answer, nothing wrong in that. But if you are not answering, wrong in that. So what is adjusting, non-adjusting? 1 second. 1 second, you have not understood the emotions. Now let me give you the emotions of this example. Draft financial statement, he was a doubtful debtor, and we have informed to the user that 10 lakh minus 2 lakh. But that person came and paid the entire amount. Now you only say to the user of financial statement which information should be given. 10 lakh is 10 lakh is will be collected, or 10 lakh will not be collected. Will be collected. It means now this allowance is no more required. You got the best estimate that he was not a doubtful debtor. Entire amount is received. If the entire amount is received and you know before approval of financial statement, why you are not reversing allowance for doubtful debt? Means this is also what adjusting event. This is also an adjusting event. And reverse, you should reverse what? Reverse the allowance of 2 lakh. Simple na. Reverse the allowance of 2 lakh. There was a condition existing on balance sheet that he will not pay, but now it is confirmed by additional event that he will pay. So why you are informing to the user that he will not pay? Are you getting what I am saying? Now it is understood fact that he has paid before approval of financial statement. It is an adjusting event. 3 questions I have given. All 3 questions are CA inter level. After 5-6 questions, you all will give me correct answer. 5-6 example. I need to wait for 5-6 example. I know. Till I will explain each and every point, you will not come to the correct conclusion. But any doubt in 1, 2, 3? One good example I am asking. This is also CA inter question. Correct? Mr. Ram, amount receivable is 10 lakh. Date of approval. I am giving case 1. Check of rupees 10 lakh received after 31st March. Have you understood? बताओ. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Non-adjusting. No doubt about this, huh? Because this is recovery, so this need to be recognized as per the chronological order. Understood? So there was a receivable received, so of course it will be recognized once it is received, not before that. So it was receivable on 31st March. Case 2. Case 2 is actually the question which have been asked in C enter. What was the question? Check dated on or before 31st March. Check dated means whatever check we have received, in that the date was 31st March or before 31st March. Correct? The check dated on or before 31st March was received after 31st March. Have you understood? Means we receive a check after 31st March, but the date was 29th March. Got it? बताओ. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Huh? Once again. Everyone, I am an accountant. Okay? I am recording all the journal entries in Tally. Okay? Tally, you know Tally? I receive a check 29th March. It came to me on 1st April. I'll go to the Tally on 29th March. I'll do the journal entry. What is wrong in this? Sir, what is wrong? Huh? Date is 29 ना? हाँ? नहीं आता. Let me change the question. Suppose I receive a check dated 29th March on 29th March. I receive a check dated 29th March on 29th March. But I deposited in the bank on 5th April. बताओ, when I will pass the journal entry? 29th March ना? तो okay, 29th March. Okay ना? हाँ? Deposit is not at all important. Correct ना? Date is important. अरे बोलना रे. Now come to this case. Check dated on or before 31st March. Let us assume 29th March. I received after 31st March. Deposited after 31st March. So we'll pass journal entry on 29th March or after 31st March. Really? Huh? How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? There are someone with me. Means doubt is there. I said till I go to 5, 5, 6 example, doubt will be there. And there are some students who are not raising hand like this. They will never answer. I am watching everyone, those who are not answering. I look that I am not an angry man, but I am an angry man. Gussa aata hai. This is second class, third class, I am not saying anything. After 25 class, I will start saying, because now we will have a relationship na. A bonding ho jayega na, then I will say. Chalo. Those who are saying non-adjusting 100% correct. But if anyone will give me the explanation, correct explanation, I'll give chocolate. 100% correct non-adjusting. But if you give me the correct explanation with emotions of this, because check was there 29th March, you need to convince me. I am your client. I said 29th March. What is wrong in passing on 29th March? Are you able to understand? You need to convince me now. I am not chartered accountant. Right now, I know it is non-adjusting event. But suppose I am your client. I said 29th March. I will pass journal entry on 29th March. Whatever you do, do. Now you have to convince me. To convince. No. That to you. I am saying date is what 29. I have received now. 29th March. No, I received now. Date is 29th March. I'll pass journal entry on 29th March. Very good. Excellent. No, I got the answer. As started accountant. I said best answer will be given chocolate. And I got the answer. She said that on 29 March, on 31st March, it was not under the control of the entity. And therefore it is not an asset. Asset already you have said. In the first class, I asked you what is the meaning of asset. We conclude that any asset which are under the control of the entity, any resource which are under the control of the entity will be recognized as an asset. So can I say on 29 March, On 31st March, it was not with the entity, and therefore can I say it can't be endorsed, it can't be deposited, therefore it was not under the control of the entity, therefore it cannot be recognized as a asset, and therefore it become a non-adjusting event. The same answer has been given in the suggested answer by ICI in CA inter exam. Means they said non-adjusting event, with the explanation they have given, it will not meet the definition of asset because it is not within the control of the entity. One chocolate to you, write down somewhere. Okay, very good. If you want to write down non-adjusting because check was not under the control of entity on 31st March, and therefore it will not meet the definition of asset, and therefore it will not be recognized. Understood? So if you give this type of answer, you will get full marks, otherwise average marks. Got it? So those who are saying adjusting event, have you understood? Correct? Yes, sir. Very good. Excellent. Case 3. In this only case 3. Check dated 31st March or before was collected by collecting agent. Collecting agent can be employee of the entity also. Collecting agent before what? 31st March, but received by the entity after what? 31st March. Collecting agent can be bank also. It can be any other person also. Correct? Any. Have you understood this point? It was collected by collecting agent before 31st March, but actually it was under the position of the entity after 31st March. But the adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting now. Everyone saying adjusting? Adjusting event, because collecting agent is nothing but authorized person of entity, and therefore it is understood it is under the control of entity on that date when it is collected by collecting agent. Very good. This also you have understood. Correct. Can I come to the next point? This was example number 4 done. Now let us move to other asset. Other asset. 31st March, there was one inventory. Inventory cost price 100, NRV 120. You know NRV? As per Ind AS 2 or as per AS 2, cost price NRV whichever is. Therefore, what value will do? Value is equal to 100 in the draft financial statement. But before approval of financial statement, something happened, fire occurred or whatever, an event occurred, and it was destroyed, damaged, and due to that, now NRV become 60. Quite possible? Quite possible? But adjusting, non-adjusting? Non-adjusting, adjusting? Anyone saying adjusting? Anyone saying adjusting? Chalo, this is fifth example. 100% answer is correct. We need to wait. Adjusting event. I think 100% correct. Non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting, because there was no condition on reporting that it is a damaged inventory. So we need to report at 100 only. A disclosure may require if the amount is material for this. I will change the example. Example number 6. Correct. Now, cost price 100, NRB was 80. Correct. Understood. So value, how much you have given? 80. Now, before approval of financial statement, actual sale happened and was sold at 60. Quite possible. Now, to inform you, NRB means what? What? Or full from I am not asking. ना like NRB means net realizable value. वो कुछ भी बोलते हैं. NRB, it means estimated what? Market price or selling price? Market price or selling price? Whether they are same or different? Whether market price and selling price are interchangeable or they are different? Different, na? Very good. So it means selling price. Less what? Cost incurred to make such sale. So we can say estimated selling expense. Correct? This detailed discussion will be done under Ind AS 2 about this. We'll do some discussion on this, not now. Now batao. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Huh? Adjusting, non-adjusting. Apply your emotions. Emotions. Apply your emotions. Just try to understand. You estimated that it can be sold at 80. Now before approval of financial statement, you got the news that it can be actually sold at 60. So what information you will give to the user? 80 or 60? 60 na. Apply emotions. You will give fair information to the user of financial statement. You estimate 80. Now you know actual sale. So your estimation now got evidence that the actual amount is 60. So you should inform to the user that NRB is 60 only. Therefore it become adjusting event. 1 second wrong, means मजा तो आ रहा है. It is an adjusting event. Have you understood? Have you understood? These two are different examples. Don't mix these two examples. In this, a fire occurred after approval of fire occurred after reporting date, and because of that reason NRB declined. So in that case, in the previous example, there was no condition existing on balance sheet date, but already here NRB was 80, and now actual sale happened. That actual sale has given an evidence that estimated NRB is not 80, is 60, and therefore we should adjust. I think in example number 5, 6, no doubt. But in example number 7, doubt will come. If you are saying 90, then also it can be favorable, unfavorable. Event can be favorable or unfavorable. If it is 90, then also adjust. Good question. Good question. Such type of question should be asked if you have a doubt. Correct? Because every point I can't say na. Understood this point? Follow. Now one doubt will come with the next example. But low 120. Then also adjusting event. Means you are nalaik, you can't estimate. This is a mobile, everyone. This is a mobile. As per my knowledge, I can sell at 1 crore. मजा आ रहा है. When I went to the market, 5,000. I think last this is actually not my mobile. This is my wife's mobile. Yesterday, my mobile after class, I went to the market. Kitna? I was asking 10,000. He said 1,000. So I have not purchased new one. I asked my wife, please na, give na, give na. So she has given me the mobile. She was having two mobile na. Correct na. So she has only borrowed me this. She has given me this mobile on lease, operating lease. So what I am saying, my mobile was damaged yesterday. I was expecting 10,000, but I got only 1,000. Correct na. So estimation may change. So I may estimate any amount, but the confirmation will come with actual sale na. So it might happen there was some wrong estimation. It was an estimated amount na. Now you got actual information, so you will take actual information. If that information came before approval of financial statement, we can amend our financial statement. We can amend na. Are bolna re. Correct. Understood. But now example number 7 mein, it is an interesting exam, and this example has been asked in institute material also. On 31st March, everyone listen. Same inventory, cost price was 100 and NRV is 120. I want answer from you all. Apply emotions, huh? Apply emotions. Before approval of financial statement, there was no fire, nothing, huh? Nothing. No external event occurred, but actual sale was done at rupees 80. Possible or not? Possible? You can't say it is not possible, huh? Possible. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Anyone saying non-adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? Adjusting? None of these? Huh? Depends. What depends? One second. रुको. You only said NRB means estimated selling price. Now you are saying market price. I need to go out of the class. I mean, right now you only said na NRB means what? Estimated selling price. अरे बोलना रे. So, and I asked you whether selling price and market price are different. You said different only. Now you are saying market price. Stick to one point. Whether selling price and market price are same or different. Are market means what? Just try to understand everyone. This is mobile. But what is the market price of this? Huh? What is the market price? Are bol. Are no market price because it is not in market, it is in my hand. Yes. Are market price means I am not the seller of this na. Whether I am a seller, whether I am standing in a market. Are bolna re. No. This is not a market for this. This is my hand. Just try. Every asset has fair value, but every asset does not have market price. Market price in market. Stock market, but the unlisted shares have market price. Not in market. Listed shares have market price because they are listed in market. So every asset does not have market price. Selling price and market price are two different terms. Selling price means the price at which management is expecting to sell. It may be less, it may be more than market price. It may be less, it may be more than market price. So selling price and market price are two different terms. And therefore they have used the word NRV, not market price. Understood? Correct. Now what I am saying, this much discussion we have done. Once again I am asking, cost price 100, NRV 120. Before approval of financial statement, actual sale happened and we got the information that it was sold at 80. Should we adjust or we should not adjust? How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? Maximum you are saying adjusting? So adjusting is correct. नहीं तो why in this? Why? So I will explain. You are not supposed to ask. I will not leave you till you understand. You should not also leave me till you understand. I will not leave you. Huh? I am not in hurry. 70, 100 हो जाए चलेगा. But I am not in hurry. What is the difference between example number 6 and example number 7? So here also you have estimated only na. NRB was estimation. अरे बाबा नलायक. Please silent. I have only 2 minutes left legally. Yeah? Give me 2 minutes. Cost price 100. NRB was an estimation or not? You estimated 80. On draft financial statement value become 80. Before approval of financial statement you got the new 60. You adjusted it. Here. Cost price was 100. Your estimation was 120. Before I said there was no fire, nothing. No information was given. Before approval of finance system statement, it was actually sold at 80. It means your estimation was not correct. You got the correct information now that it can be sold at rupees 80. It can be sold at rupees 80. Therefore adjust it. What is wrong in this? How will adjust now? Now cost price will be 100. NRB will be 80. So value will be what? 100. 80. We'll compare. I am not applying Ind AS 2 right now. I am applying Ind AS 10. Adjusting or non-adjusting? That I am asking. Understood? What I am asking? Adjusting or non-adjusting? So it will be adjusted. In this case, the value was 100. In this case, value become 80. So adjustment required or not? Adjustment required. One doubt is going on there. Fine. Huh? No, but this decline happened because of fire. And this was a good inventory on 31st March. Means there was no condition of decline on 31st March. Understood? Correct. I will give some more clarification about this, but not now. Go your home. Once again think about this. Some doubt will come, you can ask me. But I will start tomorrow's class from example number 7 only. From example number 7. Till I give thank you speech, don't stand. मजा नहीं आता है. ओए, I said after class you discuss. Now, everyone, what I am saying, only one thing I want to ask. With my class, is there any value addition from CA Inter? Are you enjoying? Should I keep this style of teaching or should I change? Means I will assume that you know everything. So should I continue like this? Chalega? Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your remaining day. Bye bye.